What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode 8 of our So Rare Road to Glory. And today we are going to go through our recent game week and also talk about our plans moving forwards and moving up into these super rare leagues. And as always, guys, just want to say a huge thank you for all of the support on the channel. We are now up to 50 subscribers, which is great. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Okay, so we actually had quite a good game week for game week 383. We've had a little bit of a hot streak recently. And yeah, looking at our team here, Brad Stuver been on really good form the last couple of game weeks, a clean sheet at home against Houston. I did quite like this matchup actually because Houston aren't as good away from home, and yeah, Stuver did really well. Got some decent AA as well from a few save points here, and obviously the clean sheet bonus as well. We then look at Shano. Shano actually got a last man tackle, which saved his score a little bit. In this game, I was hoping for that 40 to 50 points range. And yeah, obviously that last man tackle boosted up his score massively, and he did get a little bit of decent AA as well. Unfortunately, he did get a bit of a down score. I think he was on around about the 79 to 80 points mark, and then lost a few points, which kicked us out of the tier three pool and into the tier fours. But yeah, I can't really moan about that. Ashley Westwood had a okay game at home against Montreal. I was hoping for a little bit more around that sort of like 60 point mark. But yeah, I can't really moan too much. Yeah, this guy Ramirez has been probably one of our better signings recently. Just bring him up on Sora data here. There we go. Yep, so we got him around here. So after this 44 point game, we purchased him, and his price, I believe, was around the £40 ish mark. We can actually have a look, can't we, on the transactions here. Where are we? Yeah, down here. We can have a look at this this trade. So yeah, on that day, I sent over £35 in ETH, and then Sehik, who was like £10 ish, yeah, which is around that sort of £45 mark. And since then, his values increased. The floor's obviously a little bit higher, to around the £87 mark for the floor, and then recent averages 61. But yeah, he's been someone that I brought in. He's hit me back to back thresholds. His price has increased, and yeah, obviously back to back goals. They do have some really nice fixtures coming up. New York into Miami, New York, and then Portland. Even St. Louis, who are not as good away from home, and then it gets a little bit more tricky after that. Um, but yeah, I'll have to see how much his price changes, how much actually increases by, and sort of weigh up whether it's worth actually selling him, or if yeah, we sort of keep him for these 4 games here and see how much we can then yield back. So that was really, really good. He got a little bit of AA, which is always nice. And yeah, a 70 score for a 4, which I bought for like 40 quid, is definitely very, very good. And then yeah, Old Man Chara, once again, a really solid score at home with 54 points. For someone who's obviously quite old, there is a little bit of risk there that, at the end of the season, he just stops playing. But yeah, for his price around that sort of like 30 to like £40 mark, I bought him for like £33. He's already hit me, I believe, 4 thresholds and now 2 cards. So yeah, I can't really moan about that. And as you can see, that puts us in the pot for a tier 4 rare. I haven't looked too much at the prize pool, but we'll go through that now and just see what sort of cards are in there. Obviously, there's going to be quite a lot of cards from Asia that I don't really have much knowledge on, but you know, Mina gets good games for his national team. Hasn't played that much for Everton, but I think he's leaving this season. I've seen Patrick's name a few times. Ewau as well. I've seen him. Matty Cash, obviously, really good right back for Aston Villa. Plays for Poland as well. Um, Joe Gomez, Danny Ings, Huang Hee-chan. Obviously, a lot of Premier League players there. Arias can get some really good scores for Cincy when he starts, especially at home playing that right wing slash right mid role. Rodon, who is I believe on loan from Spurs to start running, might have gone there impermanently. For nows. Um, Krelic, however you say this guy's name, is actually quite a good scorer. I wouldn't mind getting him. You'll have to let me know in the comments how to pronounce this guy's surname. No, his price is a little bit lower, but he does get some decent scores, and what's that? Three, five, five out of the last 8 games he started. So yeah, I can't really moan about that. I think that'd be quite handy to actually have. My only worry there, I guess, is they have signed a striker recently. I think his name is Arango. So that might decrease his minutes slightly. Minamino, I mean, doesn't really play, but he is an ex-Saints player, which is quite nice. Admittedly, it was only on loan, but yeah. Um, Anyone else here? Stefan Savic gets some decent minutes. Jack Hendry, I believe, plays for Scotland as well. I'm not sure if he plays that much for Bruges, but yeah, I mean, there are definitely some players here which have some use. I'm going to try and keep hold of as many cards as possible. Obviously, if I get someone that's really valuable, the ETH might be more beneficial to me. But for those like 20 to like £40 rares, I think I'd rather keep them and try and use them next season. And then moving forward, guys, obviously our aim is to get into the super rare level and start to actually buy some super rares. But I've been thinking, about what's the best way to actually move up into super rare. And I know that a lot of people and also myself watched the Surrey data YouTube video with Led, PSG Sands, and Nep talking about the sort of difference between rares and super rares, and whether it's more beneficial to have a really good rare or a sort of like decent super rare. And obviously, I can go down the route of buying one super rare and then going into kickoff super rare, but I know it's obviously quite difficult to actually win cards in there, and even then when you do win a super rare, it isn't that great. I could also just aim for cap 270 and try and win super rares. Cap 270 rare and then win super rares. That could be a option, and then build super rares that way. Obviously, if I was going to jump up and then play cap to 40 super rare, you can't really do that with just 5 cards. You need to have a decent bulk of players. I can't just have these 5 supers and that'd be it. Obviously, I'd love to have these cards. That's just a example. You need to have like 10 to 15 cards. And yeah, it just makes it a little bit tricky to actually jump up. I was thinking about whether it would be more beneficial for me to then get some super rares and then go into some form of a um, rare pro league, so whether that's challenger or champion, or for next season for the MLS, or even into All Star, just because I can then purchase less super rares, which then decreases the cost. The drawbacks of that is obviously these divs are actually very hard to win cards in. So I may have to upgrade my rares. But yeah, I'm just sort of looking at the next steps in my gallery, because I am very, very good at hitting the cap 240 threshold, but only goes so far, right? You only win those lower tier cards when you do well. And obviously, £50 every week in ETH is very, very good, but it gets to a point where you need to take that step forwards to start purchasing those better rares, and then obviously moving up into super rares as well. So let me know in the comments, what do you think is the best route to go from rares to super rares? and then let me know why. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for our next video.